What you conceive and believe, you can achieve. Thanks for watching me here on WowBiz Weekly. I'm Lynn Hinderaker, and you're on WowBizTV.com or YouTube or both. By the way, stick around on this side. I think you're going to find some very interesting people. The movers and shakers of Omaha, Nebraska are finding themselves on WowBiz TV, and we are thrilled to have them. In fact, I'm going to introduce you to one of them. She would be an emerging mover and shaker. She comes out of the Bellevue community, and she's an entrepreneur. We like to have a lot of entrepreneurs right here on WowBiz Weekly. And she has a concept, ladies and gentlemen, that I have to tell you will affect you at your core. All right, this is a psychological and a quantum physics dialogue for the next 5 or 6 minutes. Please welcome my friend Maria Whitaker Bishop, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Hello, nice to see you. Please sit down. What a great idea to have you here today. You feeling okay?
I'm well.
I know you kind of hurt that arm a little bit, but we're so glad to have you here. All right, now listen. This is outstanding. You've been a photographer kind of in your career for a long time, right?
I've been in business over 10 years now.
Over 10 years, all right. Mm-hmm. Well, so you have this very interesting philosophical concept. You know, there's a lot of people in this room. In fact, I'm going to ask them to raise their hand or maybe even applaud. If you've ever read the Dale Carnegie books, you know, Napoleon Hill, you know, probably some of the young folks don't know who these people are. But many of us have. And one of the axioms, the truisms that you come across there, right? I'm just setting you up here, right? Is that the mind has a huge, how you think is really the key variable in the outcomes that are in your life. Am I saying that correctly?
Absolutely.
All right. So if you've ever heard that basic notion, and in either of the books I just mentioned, please applaud right now. I'd like to hear your applause if you've ever read either one of those books. There we go. Now that may sound like sparse applause, but that's like 75% of everybody who's here. You know what I'm saying? No, it's a very common understanding, and everybody kind of gets that. But you have taken this thing to the next level. And I congratulate you for that. Tell us, what is it? You've got a business now that you're just hatching called Idealize. Tell me what Idealize does now.
The idea is to go beyond photography, which I've been doing, as I said, for several decades now, in business for over 10 years.
Right.
But I wanted to feel like I was being of greater service to the community.
Want to make a bigger difference.
Exactly. Pictures go on the wall. Hopefully everybody loves them. But they don't make a lasting impression, and I really want to make a difference in people's lives in helping them to achieve their goals and fulfill their dreams.
Great, absolutely, and I couldn't have been better stated. So what are we talking about here? You've kind of taken the photography and you bought some software. You've got your iPad up here. You got some software that you're going to basically what? What are you going to do for people that are interested in the Idealize service, as we briefly discussed it?
Well, what has been used for years as a tool, a very basic tool, is vision boards. When people want to set a goal for themselves, they put a visual in front of them. Most of us are very visual people. And so they'll take pictures from magazines, from advertising, all kinds of sources, and they'll put together a vision board, which we have a sample of.
We'll show you that here shortly. So we're talking about a creation initially of a vision board that includes images, right, of who you are, what you want to be, where you want to go with your life. Is that essentially what we're discussing?
Right, and they're generic. When you're taking them from public pieces, they reflect other people doing the things that you may want to do.
Absolutely.
So taking my personal spin on it is that as a photographer, I can work to customize these vision boards to make it specifically of you and of your visions for yourself.
So you don't have to rip ads out anymore out of the magazine and say, I want to lose weight like this lady and put it on the refrigerator, which a lot of us do.
You can still do that,
that's
and it's still very effective.
Sure, absolutely. But you're going to basically create a vision board and then convert it to a computer, right?
With today's tools, everyone has an iPad, smartphone, things that they're carrying with them all the time.
Yes.
And I found it very successful to watch this myself a couple times a day.
Yeah, you turn on the computer in the morning, right?
First thing in the morning, last thing before bed.
Right.
Just take a few moments to review those dreams and those goals.
Absolutely.
And put yourself in the feeling, because really it's not just about thinking the thoughts, it's about feeling the feelings.
It's about feeling it, that's right. I have a lot of people say, well, I think about getting a new van. I'm constantly obsessing about thinking about a new van. But their belief system, kind of going beyond feeling really, their belief system is at some deep level that they don't really deserve the van, or that's not really going to happen, and that's getting in the way of the fruition of it, right?
And I don't know how many people actually feel a van before they purchase a
Well,
van.
any desire, right? Any outcome, right? So, so the notion is you create a vision board, and executives hire Maria to help them really visualize what they're trying to do with themselves or their company, and then convert it into a moving. There's audio, right? There's some music sometimes.
There's music of
that
your
kind
choice,
of thing,
yes.
right? And it comes on, bam, right on your computer every time you, right? Do it. All right. So let's show them an example. Everybody's vision board is different, obviously, right? So here's an example here. I don't know if Zach, our shooter, and Dan from Streamline can close in on it. And this is just an example, right?
Just an example of travel goals, personal and professional dreams.
Absolutely, because you love to travel. I know that about you.
I love to travel. My world revolves around travel.
Right.
And every opportunity. Philanthropy is very important to me. So these are just some ideas of what my life would look like in an idealized version.
So we're going to idealize, absolutely. And we're going to
idealize
believe in intentions. This is a very important thing. Some of you in this room, I know, consider yourselves pragmatic business people, right? Maybe cynical, frankly, or at least realistic. Here we are at the other end of the spectrum. And I have to tell you, I've been reading a lot about quantum physics and quantum mechanics. And there's been some incredible breakthroughs as we sit here and take a look at Maria Whitaker Bishop's vision board. It actually has been proven. I'm going to set this down right now. It's a great example. How about a round of applause for her vision board, huh? Seriously. Outstanding. You know, there's been some great breakthroughs along these lines, and it was actually publicized recently, and then we'll wrap up here because we have to get on with our next fascinating interview. But a lady who had lost both arms, tragic accident. She was very difficult, obviously, and couldn't move in a wheelchair and so on. And they have worked on technology and robotics. Some incredible advances I couldn't even come close to describing, right? But they hooked it up to her neuronal system, her brain, the firing, her neurons, and so on. And I saw this on television less than a year ago. This is seriously a very interesting breakthrough. And I think it comes right back to what you're doing here. That's why I'm sharing this incredible anecdote. And we watched, the world watched, as this woman was told to concentrate on moving an arm, a robotic arm, obviously, that had been attached to her body, and bringing it over to her mouth. No kidding. And taking a sip of water out of this cup. And I swear to God, as I stood here and watched this on television in the morning, in my underwear, no less, she moved this thing up here just through the concentration of her mind and took a drink. It was unbelievable. And that was the day when I looked at my wife and I said, Maria Whitaker Bishop is on to something, ladies and gentlemen. How about a round of applause for this woman right here and her vision board. Thank you so much. Idealize down in Bellevue, Nebraska. We'll be right back on Wild Biz Weekly. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Lynn Hinderaker. Bye-bye.